Ndị Igbo ekene m unu. Asị m ka nke echikwelu ya zelu. Anyị si ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ, mmiri atara m azụ anwụra. Asị ọ dịrị mma na eke, dịrị mma n'orie, fọzara mma n'afọ, fọzara mma na nkwọ, ụzọ ahịa anọ nke ndị Igbo ji biri. Asị na ya dịra n'Igbo na mma o. Ise, ise, ise. Dịka o si dị ka agbapụ na ya ọsọ igosi na ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Na tupu anyị aga n'igosi na ya bụ ife, ọ bụla nke a bụ ụbọchị izu gị, ị na-ejete afụ chanel anya n'igbe akwụkwọ ka baro ka like and subscribe ọ tinyekwa kọmentị share ekwe ya tụsa ya bụ ozi ka ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche wee nụ ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo a. Dịka o si dị ihe wetara unu tata bụ nnukwu ọpdeti dị oke mkpa. Mma nchọ ka onye ọbụla misie ya, mma nchọ ka ị ga-ya bụ ife, ị ga-esi ya bụ ife wetara unu pasta maka ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya and were ndị Igbo na-azọ drop your own comment.
Hello everyone and welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by. So my people, this is another powerful and a big revelation from Lolo Nneka Chimeze aka Madam Pinto of what is happening in the Southeast and how she replied or give Woto to Joe Igbokwe as well as Soludo, who said that military is needed in the Southeast, that Biafra agitation is a scam, and also Soludo saying that releasing nnamdi Kanu will not stop the insecurity in the Southeast, which Soludo is trying to create another security agent, which going to cause another mayhem in the Southeast, just like in Imo State where they created Ebuka. My people, this video is a must watch because Lolo Nneka Chimeze really exposed many things that are going on in the Southeast. Just watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share it so that other of our brothers and sisters will get the opportunity to watch this video, and also give me a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend this video to other people to watch. And also please, at the end of this video, I'm going to put Lolo Nneka Chimeze's number on the comment section. Please don't hesitate to call her and also render any support you can in order for her to continue this wonderful job that she is doing. So my people, let's go ahead and watch the video together.
Recently, there have been reactions to what Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, said yesterday. A couple of persons are not in support of the things he said, but some other persons are reasoning with what he said. According to Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State, he said that some elements are under the conscription or umbrella of the Biafran movement or Biafran agitation, and they are creating mayhem. He said a lot of cultists, criminals are perpetuating mayhem and terrorism, and because of that, there's going to be a new security outfit called Udogachi. Now, apparently, if you know as well, that the same thing is also going on in Imo State. The same operation outfit, security outfit from Iwago. Even there's also another one right now. Very recently, the outfit actually were able to apprehend some IPOB members. That's what we read about that. I think earlier today or yesterday, we read about that particular fact, that apparently some individuals in the Southeast conscripted to be IPOB members have been caught by a particular group. This group or this security outfits are actually the ones responsible for being able to apprehend them, and they're from the state government. It's almost like Operation Udogachi. So it's the same thing that the Anambra State governor is trying to implement in his state as well. But the question is, will this security outfit do due diligence? Will they be used, as a tool for political whims and caprices of these politicians? We don't know that yet. Now, in reaction to that, Joe Igbokwe actually made a statement, and we know him as one of the chieftains of the All Progressives Congress. He has stated that there is nothing like Biafra agitation in the Southeast. He described the agitation as a scam and money-making venture for criminals. Igbokwe actually urged Southeast governors to seek military intervention from President Bola Tinubu in curbing the activities of criminals masquerading as Biafra agitators in the region. which other military intervention are you asking the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to deploy to the southeast? So you mean all the military checkpoints, the entire militarization in the southeast is not enough? You want the southeast leaders to ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to still conscript and deploy more military men to the southeast? In what sense? And again, you saying that there is nothing like Biafra agitation, that is a criminal scam. Well, right here in the studio, I actually have someone very, very interesting that will give us details. His her own purview to this development is Lolo Neka Chimeze, known as Madam Pinto. She's the President Igbo Women Assembly. Madam Pinto, thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you for having me once again, Esther.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, viewers, for staying put to contribute to this conversation.
Madam Pinto, I hope you're not tired because I know you came in early today. So thank you. I hope you're not tired because it's essential for us to have this conversation. Joe Igbokwe coming to make this statement seems to resonate with what a lot of people are saying. Since Simon Ekpa was apprehended within the Finnish custody, a lot of persons are now taking a deep look into the whole Biafra agitation movement, the essence of self-referendum and freedom. And just yesterday, the same Chukuma Soludo said, as it is now, as insecurity stands now in the southeast, specifically Anambra State, that even if nnamdi Kanu is released, it doesn't guarantee that insecurity in the southeast will be quelled or it will be copped out, because these individuals have tasted blood. They're enjoying the money they're making out of the nuance of Biafran agitators or, the release of nnamdi Kanu, that they will continue what they are doing regardless of nnamdi Kanu's freedom. And now Joe Igbokwe is asking for more military deployment in the southeast, asking the southeastern governors to ask and beg President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for military intervention. He has completely denounced that there is nothing like Biafran agitation, that it's a scam. Would you blame him for saying things from that purview when you have persons from Uwazurike to nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa? And most of them right now are in custody, specifically Simon Ekpa and nnamdi Kanu. So the entire Biafran struggle and the essence for independence, self-referendum and freedom, is it a dream that will ever be actualized, or is going to be something that everybody will just hold in their heart that at some point maybe we will get our utopia? What would you say to that?
Thank you very much, Esther. Now, the question is, have Joe Igbokwe ever stood to ask why the agitation? What caused the agitation in the first place? Is this agitation justified? That would be the first question. Is this agitation justified? Are these the first to agitate for something? Why are they not seeing this as people trying to say something, trying to complain? Now, if you look, Joe Igbokwe is not in the southeast. So I'm sure he has not traveled maybe in the last 1 year. And if he has traveled, either he traveled by flight, a private vehicle come and pick him to his house. And when he finished whatever it is he wants to do, he goes back. So he's not in any position to even tell what is happenings in the southeast. So Joe Igbokwe is simply a politician who says things to, he feeds from politics. I know politics is more or less the bedrock of propaganda. So the more you say things that interest the government, the chances, the chances you get an appointment or get a better job from just being a propaganda. So I see Joe Igbokwe in that light. If you look at Igbos and the rancor between Igbos and Yorubas, Joe Igbokwe heated up that very polity from what he was saying in the days of being a commissioner in Lagos State by trying to force the Igbos to support Ahmed. He said so many things. He said you cannot come to people's land.
Yes.
So this issue of people's land was originated from an Igbo man because he wants to keep his job, because he wants to feed, So listen to Joe Igbokwe. How can you say, and already, does Joe Igbokwe know what it means by a military being in a place? Anywhere military is, they will turn it into a war zone. Now, with the military in the southeast, you still want more militaries. Now, the question I'm going to put to Joe Igbokwe is, in the last 2 years, the military has been in the southeast. Has crime rate reduced? What have we achieved by the militarization of southeast? have even questioned the military. So why are they not combating crime? Even the ones there. So he's saying military. So, some of us are pushing for the government to pull out the militaries. They are not, dismantle. Yes, they are not. They are doing more harm than good. In fact, we've accused the military of having a hand in the crime rate. I am, as a journalist, I went and I covered and I saw things, and I've challenged them several occasions to deny my accusations. I've accused them of having a hand in kidnapping. I've accused them of having a hand in enforcing the sit at home. I met it. I saw it. I confronted them. They nearly killed me. There is nothing like IPOP. There is nothing like IPOP. They've been crushed. IPOP is a movement. People bought into it out of their desperation to get a better deal from a country they felt they belong to. 80% of Igbo people patronize IPOP in their hearts because they believe that these are the only group that is presenting their case. You won't see anybody on ground to say, am IPOP, to carry gun. Esther, I challenge even the military to come out and show us IPOP. You get it? It doesn't exist. So the militaries are there for a different mission. From my own understanding, okay, have Joe Igbokwe even queried the federal government? How can you push military to Southeast and also engage a militant to Southeast, to guide Southeast? Have you ever seen all of them come out to question why Asari Dekubo was engaged? And then you are still looking for criminals in the Southeast. It doesn't make sense. Have Joe Igbokwe, I took it upon myself when I covered the what is happening in the Southeast. I took it upon myself to be joining vehicles to travel rather than flying, that I can witness. Yes, I can monitor this and what the militaries are doing. I'm pushing our youths from Southeast to youths are living in drones. Did Joe Igbokwe know? He doesn't. Joe Igbokwe is just saying things that will interest the federal government. He has no interest in the Southeast. Joe Igbokwe has no family in the Southeast. His children are not in the Southeast. I've been to his house before. I know he has male children. Where are his male children? So he can say whatever he likes, because most of these politicians move their children abroad. And they're after what they would gain. You understand? So they are really not interested in the people. They are interested in their pocket. Their children are, when they grow old, their children will move them abroad. So their interest is not on the well-being or welfare of the Southeasterners. They are even using Southeast as a platform to get job, to get appointment from the government.
Wow.
So yes, that's why you see them say those things. Because me, that's on ground, my children are in Nigeria. I can afford to send them abroad. But I said, I now look at sending my children abroad. These are not that slavery entirely, because it is population that develops a nation. Now we keep on shipping our children. So Joe Igbokwe, if you go and check, maybe his children and wife is abroad. Most of the commissioners in the South is even other local governments. Their families are abroad. So what are their interests in the South? Is their interest? Why would you occupy a position when you don't have interest? If your family is not in the Southeast, whose interests are you now protecting? Who are you ruling? So these are the issues that people that present themselves as leaders from the Southeast are not actually leaders. They are just there to see whatever they can grab on the platform of Southeast. They have no single interest. For Joe Igbokwe, upon everything, all the evidences that has come out from Southeast, number one, we are querying the federal government. Okay, now I'm putting this to Joe Igbokwe. Before the military moved to Southeast, we don't have this kind of insecurity in the Southeast.
It was peaceful.
Yes, it was very peaceful. All they do is sit at home. Now, why then did you move military to ease movement? Militaries were the ones that are in fact, they now put Southeast under siege. I confronted and I said this to their face. I said, sir, from what I can see, after touring the whole Southeast is under siege by the military. I confronted them. I have the date and I have the checkpoint. If the military says it's a lie, let them bring out people that went into this confrontation with me at Osumo, where they nearly shot me. Because I did not that they will extract information from citizens and give it out to kidnappers. Otherwise, why will a military man ask you question up to where you come from, up to your family. After looking at your passport, they will take your name and ask you up to your village, up to your family. Now we are looking for kidnappers. So they are the ones that control the road. They are the ones that see people coming from abroad. They will give out information. Have Joe Igbokwe taken time to go home, ask questions, and look at what is going on in the South? If Southeast was peaceful before the military moved in, and the military they moved in, crime rates
Yes.
heightened. What do you say to that? And then we now discovered that the federal government on its own contracted a criminal. We all know a military. Let me not call him a criminal, a militant. Move him to Southeast. He came to national TV to say it. I was sure that even the media themselves played it down. Now the likes of Joe Igbokwe did not see it and did not query the federal government. And now Joe Igbokwe is talking about criminals in the Southeast when already the federal government himself sponsored these criminals. Now the question I'm going to ask Joe Igbokwe, since he knows better, what kind of security do you think the person of Asari Kubo can move to Southeast? And you are looking for non-government. If you go to Southeast, you will see this sense of peace everywhere.
Quiet.
And you now look at people's face, those criminals, you want to see through them and see, you see busy people moving about their business. Now, what happens in the Southeast is a kind of a guerrilla attack. You see some people moving with Sienna attack and leave the state. The people committing this crime are non-state actors. Now, there are some criminals,
That's in contradiction to what Soludo said. Soludo said yesterday that 99% of those committing criminality in Anambra State, the Southeast, are Igbos, and that 77% of them are non-state indigenes. They're not part of the state. When they see the crime as it has exacerbated, then they now flock in, do what they want to do, and go.
Now, the question I would put to Soludo, if you say it's Igbos, his son, number one, because his son is Igbo.
What?
Yes, my son is Igbo. I've challenged people. If you keep on saying Igbos, even in the whole Nigeria knew that we have criminals everywhere, but the rates at which Igbos engage in criminal activities is less than any other state. In fact, I read a rating by Bawa, Daniel.
Daniel Bawa.
Southeast is the lowest in terms of crime, even Southwest. But the thing is that the press has a way of blowing everything that comes from Southeast out of proportion. It's like there is a plan to destroy Southeast. You get it? Now, if Soludo says they are Southeasterners, he should bring his son first.
The NBS yesterday released a report on how much families of victims who were kidnapped had paid from 2023 to 2024. And it said 2.2 trillion naira. Then in terms of region, where the crime is high, the northeast, northwest, and then I think south before southeast. Southeast recorded
Southwest, the lowest.
No, southeast recorded the lowest.
Exactly.
As of this morning, the NBS is telling us that their website was hacked. That so whatever is released on that website should not be taken as fact.
Okay.
So a lot of conspiracy theory now came on board that just 24 hours or 28 hours or 42 hours that you released a report like this, which, like you said, and when it comes to the Southeast, there's this exacerbated exaggeration, which was clarified by the release of the NBS report. Now they're telling us that that report is not supposed, that we shouldn't take it serious, that their website was hacked. So would we say that the politicians are part of the conspiracy theories?
Now, the point is that I've said it time without number. The APC government that was constituted in 2015 have a plan for the Southeast. Because if you look at the activities of the former President Buhari, the Operation Python dance in the Southeast over youths that were agitating. You don't want to listen to them. In fact, Esther, it is on record that we've not really seen where the militaries and the IPOP or ECN have exchanged gun battle and they arrested youths, parade them on TV, and we see their faces and we confirm their families in the Southeast. I don't think it has happened. All you need here is whoever, in fact, if they arrest a thief, is an IPOP member. If you arrest a criminal, is an IPOP member. So I don't know, how do you know they are IPOP members? An IPOP member can be a thief. that doesn't mean he was a thief because he's an IPOP member. If somebody steals, call him a thief. If somebody kidnaps and IPOP said deny involvement, you don't put it on them. IPOP has come out uncountable times to say, we don't do this. So when you catch a criminal, please call him a criminal. Like now, we have OPC in the Southwest. I have never, most of these boys are OPC members. I have never had any criminal caught before, and you now refer them to be OPC members. But the point, like you said, our politicians are the ones that are blowing these things out of proportion. Because why? They are trying to suppress the popularity of IPOP. And now, in so doing this, they don't even care what it does to Southeast, the harm it brings to Southeast. But out of their desperation to suppress this group, unfortunately, the way they are going about it will be very difficult. Because the more you try to suppress them, the more people are, getting interested in them. Because people on ground knew, in reality, that that's not the case. They knew that those that are harassing them are the militaries. If you go from Osumohu to Nnewi, now you can't move on that houses, not because of unknown gunmen, not because of military. People are more afraid of the military than whatever you say that is. We think that even the unknown gunmen and whatever is fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction because you will not really witness it as it were. They tell us whatever they want us to hear, and the press carries it immediately and runs with it. For instance, the kidnapping in the Southeast, 80% of these reports is that the Fulani herdsmen are the ones that engage in this kidnapping most of the time. Have you seen the military move to the bush to push them out? Why have they been silent on the activities of the Fulani herdsmen? In Enugu, the other time, 2 farmers were killed on their farm. And
that was the day after some Nepal was apprehended.
Yes, and these people we kill occupy where they killed, and the so-called military will not move.
All right, Madam Pinto, I don't know how, because let's not generalize these things. I saw an X, I think 3 days ago, where one young man was apprehended. It was in the Southeast, and they're one of the persons that actually steal, kidnap, and all of that. And he was confessing, to some things, some crimes, and the names of some of his group members and what they do. Some crimes and the names of some of his group members and what they do. Some persons will reason with what Soludo said, that some young persons who have been kept redundant and nothing to do have used the whole Biafran struggle, knowing how a lot of Nigerians have sold themselves, especially those in the Southeast. They've sold themselves into that ideal, and so they're utilizing that to their advantage. Soludo said a lot of the Southeasterners have been brainwashed to believe that the agitators or according to him, the criminals are their heroes. Some persons are genuinely in the struggle for the attainment of the Southeast freedom. But the Chief of Defense Staff in a Monitor television program recently told the anchor that it is obvious that IPOB will deny their involvement in the criminality going on in the Southeast, and that the reason why they will say so is because a couple of them, or the back end, those who are financing, are very intelligent. They're educated persons. That it's not like how you have it in the North, where some of them are not educated, which drew criticism from several quarters. How do you know that the financiers of these persons committing this mayhem are not educated? People sit down and conspire to create chaos, and you say they're not educated enough for that kind of chaos to actually take place. So for him, he described that, this is what he says. He said, in contrast to profiles of bandits in the Northeast, who he described as largely illiterate, with those in the Southeast who are more aware of the implications of their actions, he argued that this motivates the IPOB members to deny their involvement in order to evade arrest and prosecution. Okay, so how do you describe that?
Okay, the point is that I think they're making excuses on why they should stay put in the Southeast. In the first place, they've been there for the past 2 years.
Yes.
The more they stay, the higher the crime rates. Now, before they moved in, there was nothing like crime. Is he saying that IPOB were not in the East? IPOB has been very much around since 2015. And from 2015 to 2023, 2022, or 2021, when they now move military, Southeast has been very peaceful. Now that brings to question, why did the crime rate now become higher when the military move in? That's the question we are going to ask Oga Army man. Why did the so are you saying that the IPOP went to sleep, or because the militaries were there now, they now try to engage in criminal activities to blackmail the militaries? It doesn't make sense. We all have sense. Now, I think the military should sit down and evaluate and look at who are these IPOP. What are their mission? What are their vision? What do they stand for? Before you now start branding them as criminals. When people kidnap in the South North, they don't say it's Boko Haram. Call a criminal a criminal. When you catch a criminal in the Southeast, deal with him as a criminal. And then please, these criminals, we don't get to see them. When you catch a criminal, hand them over to police to try.
But now that Chukuma Soludo is validating what the Chief of Defense Staff is saying, which culminated to Joe Igbokwe's reaction and response that he's been saying this thing since, that there is nothing like Biafran agitation, but it's a scam. And then the whole recent issue with Uwazurike and Simon Ekpa, the same traits or the same trail at which they were able to curry support and all. How do we break this rhetoric? How do we dismantle it?
Okay, now, if you release Nnamdi today, let's do a challenge like Nnamdi challenged. I think former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, made these comments before, and he said he's going to do a 3 million march. And of course, they do their mobilization. When they started the march, Nnamdi arrived in Owerri unannounced. Those marching with Rochas abandoned him and joined Nnamdi. People left their shop unlocked and joined Nnamdi. Now, if Soludo, politicians unfortunately don't know the extent and the magnitude or the effect of the things they say, because out of their desperation to retain their job, they say anything and they don't know the harm it does. They don't face reality. Let them release Nnamdi today. Let Soludo call a meeting. Even his own commissioners will abandon him to go and listen to Nnamdi. Why does this young man draw a lot of crowd? Now, the only thing that people will try to fake is something that will draw people to them. Simon Ekpa was able to do what he did, whatever they said he did, because some people are desperate. They are looking for leaders. They now had to follow Simon Ekpa when Nnamdi was in prison. Are they looking at, okay, look at the number of people following the so-called Simon Ekpa and the number of people following Soludo, even as a governor. So we must face reality until the Southeastern leaders, both the leaders, the traditional leaders, and the political leaders sit down and analyze this IPOP and understand and ask and know what are they asking for. What they are asking for, is it off? What are their reasons? When you even talk about the agitation, these people are agitating in their mind. They are not on the road. They are not on the street. Now, most like Soludo.
And the by Ekenekwe Muno, Edikono Swapto Guno, Igboyabi Fe, Nukwozito Kempa, Ejemakia, Webiani Rakuko, na Igbo media, boy by si when Teluni Yabunu Kwozi, Dio Kempa, Bastamaki Yenemino, but I know Nimia, and Bastamaka Muro Wendi Bonazo, and Bastamaka Mazen Namde Canus ladies. Dikin Rivan Naiwakuni Rakuko, Kefi will you no donkey. Asigi woke if you were deep makana otako de banjo oya de kwanuma aguna otu munnem achom kunu tiela ya lonku ni fonu chere niru akwukwo ikucha ya bi fe kabaro share ya kurutu munna yi ndo ozo nti dalo de nenu munnem bo mo na ege nti ene kenu ndi ne kunu si na eso ila ya esiru ngwa nke mesia no mi Igbo.